Good morning, friends. Have you ever woken up with a strange ache or lingering tiredness and wondered, is this just age, or is my body trying to tell me something serious? In my 30 years as a physician, I've seen how cancer can be a silent thief, whispering before it roars. Today, we'll uncover 5 warning signs you must never ignore. Recognizing these early can be the difference between a scare and a life saved. Let's take charge of your health and your happiness together. Sign number 1: persistent morning headaches. The first mistake many of us make is blaming a persistent morning headache on an old pillow or a bad mattress. You wake up feeling heavy, tired, and maybe a little confused. You might just reach for a painkiller and try to push through your day. But please stop doing that. As we age, our blood vessels lose their natural elasticity. When you lie down for 8 hours, your circulation slows down. If you have any wear and tear in your neck, a condition we call cervical spondylosis, those aging vertebrae can actually compress the nerves and blood vessels leading to your brain. Your brain simply is not getting enough oxygen. Clinical research shows that this drop in morning oxygen levels is a major warning sign. It increases the risk of stroke and severe vascular disease. You feel that lack of oxygen as a throbbing headache, brain fog, and total exhaustion. Let me tell you about my patient Margaret. Margaret is 68 years old and lives right here in our community. She suffered from these heavy morning headaches for years. She thought she just needed a new bed. Once we realized her neck was restricting her blood flow, we completely changed her morning routine. I told her to stop reaching for the medicine cabinet first thing in the morning. Instead, I want you to try something completely natural. Start your day with a warm cup of ginger tea. Ginger is a powerful, natural anti-inflammatory that helps open up those blood vessels safely without the harsh side effects of chemical painkillers. After that, prepare a warm foot soak. Fill a small basin with warm water and soak your feet for 10 minutes. The warm water draws the blood flow downward, easing the pressure in your head and normalizing your blood pressure. If you want me to create a dedicated video on how to keep your brain healthy and sharp as you age, please comment the word health below. Sign number 2: morning joint pain and stiffness. Many of us wake up feeling like a rusty old car. Your joints creak, your knees ache, and your fingers feel incredibly stiff. It is so easy to brush this off and tell yourself that it is just a normal part of getting older. But ignoring persistent joint pain is a dangerous habit. Here is the medical truth. As the years go by, the natural lubricating fluid inside your joints starts to dry up. When you sleep and stay still for hours, that lack of fluid causes severe stiffness. However, if your joints are swollen, warm to the touch, and stay stiff for more than 30 minutes after you get out of bed, your body is fighting a massive battle. It means your immune system might be attacking your own tissues, which is the root cause of rheumatoid arthritis, or worse, it could be a hidden illness. I will never forget Mr. Robert Miller. Robert is a 66-year-old gentleman from Florida. He came to my clinic complaining about severe stiffness in his hips and knees every single morning. He laughed it off and blamed the humid Florida weather. He was wrong. After running a few tests, we discovered he had a severe bone infection. Because he ignored the warning signs, he almost lost his mobility entirely. Do not let this happen to you. Pay attention to what your body is whispering to you in the morning. Stop forcing yourself to walk through severe pain. Instead, I want you to be gentle with your body. Start using a warm compress on the painful areas. Apply it for 15 to 20 minutes right after you wake up. The heat acts like oil for your joints, relaxing the muscles and bringing fresh blood to the area. Next, use a little bit of lavender essential oil. Gently massage the oil directly into your aching joints. The natural compounds in lavender absorb into the skin to reduce inflammation and calm the pain receptors in your brain. Sign number 3: chronic fatigue, and memory lapses. A very common mistake I see in my clinic is people accepting absolute exhaustion as a normal part of getting older. You sleep for 8 solid hours, but when you open your eyes, you feel like you just ran a marathon. You drag yourself out of bed, and immediately you realize you cannot remember why you walked into the kitchen. When you sleep, your body is supposed to be running a deep repair cycle, but if you wake up drained, it means your metabolic engine is stalling out in the middle of the night. As we age, our endocrine system goes through massive changes. Your thyroid, a little butterfly-shaped gland in your neck, might stop producing enough hormones to keep your battery charged. Or your cells might be struggling to process sugar, which is a massive warning sign of type 2 diabetes. Your body simply cannot turn food into energy the way it did 20 years ago. You know this feeling perfectly. You sit on the edge of the mattress, totally wiped out. A thick brain fog rolls in, making even simple tasks feel overwhelming. The American Diabetes Association points out that chronic morning fatigue paired with sudden memory lapses is one of the very first physical signs of unregulated blood sugar. Your brain is literally being starved of the glucose fuel it needs to think clearly. Please stop blaming yourself for being lazy or just getting old. Stop brushing off that brain fog as a normal senior moment. I want you to start taking this exhaustion seriously and ask your doctor for a simple, routine blood test. Your daily nutrition plays a massive role in fixing this. Heavy, late-night meals make the morning fog much worse, but nature gives us a wonderful, simple tool to jumpstart the system. I had a patient named David, a retired postal worker. David slept 9 hours a night but was too tired to even read his morning newspaper. He was terrified that he was developing early dementia. It turned out that his thyroid was barely functioning. Once we supported his thyroid, he got his life back. While you schedule that checkup, do this one simple thing tomorrow morning. Squeeze half of a fresh lemon into a glass of warm water. Drink it before you have your coffee or breakfast. The natural vitamin C and warm hydration gently wake up your liver and immune system, giving your brain a safe, natural energy boost without the terrible crash of caffeine. Sign number 4, morning wheezing and mucus. Another dangerous habit is ignoring what your lungs are trying to tell you first thing in the morning. Many people wake up, sit up, and immediately have to spend 10 minutes clearing their throats. You might cough up thick phlegm or hear a faint wheezing sound when you take a deep breath. Overnight, while you are lying flat, mucus naturally pools in your airways. In a healthy lung, tiny hairs called cilia act like brooms to sweep it all away. But years of aging, past smoking, or breathing in dusty air can paralyze those tiny brooms. Your aging respiratory tract simply cannot clear out the daily toxins anymore. That pooled mucus becomes a heavy trap in your chest. You feel it as a tight, heavy sensation behind your ribs. You spend your first waking moments hacking and coughing just to find a clear breath. It is exhausting, and quite frankly, it can be very frightening. Leading pulmonologists warn that this persistent morning wheeze is a classic hallmark of chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Even more urgently, a daily mucus-producing cough in the morning is frequently the very first whisper of early-stage lung cancer. You must stop telling yourself it is just a seasonal allergy. Stop calling it a normal smoker's cough. You need to protect your lungs and get a proper chest evaluation. The environment in your bedroom is a huge factor here. Dry indoor air irritates your sensitive lung tissue all night long. My neighbor, Eleanor, used to sound like she was fighting a terrible chest cold every single morning. She just kept buying bottles of cough syrup from the pharmacy. When we finally got her a proper chest x-ray, the doctors found a very small, early-stage mass. Because she paid attention to that morning wheeze, they caught it in time to treat it completely. To help your lungs heal, Start using a small room humidifier next to your bed tonight. Keep the air moist to soothe those airways while you sleep. Then, when you wake up, stir a spoonful of raw honey into a cup of warm water with a dash of lemon. The honey naturally coats and calms the irritated throat tissue, while the warm water safely breaks up that stubborn morning mucus. Sign number 5, loss of appetite and digestive changes. The 5th warning sign I want to discuss is a sudden and persistent loss of appetite when you wake up. Many of my patients tell me they have simply stopped feeling hungry in the morning. They wake up and feel a heavy, bloated sensation in their stomach before they have even sipped water. It is a common mistake to think this is just a natural part of getting older or that your body just needs less fuel. Please do not fall into that trap. As we age, our digestive system undergoes significant biological changes. Our stomachs produce less acid, and the muscles that move food through the intestines, a process called peristalsis, begin to slow down. However, when you feel full or even nauseous every single morning, it is a sign that your digestive tract is struggling. This can be caused by gastric ulcers, where the stomach lining has worn thin over time. Even more concerning, a total lack of morning hunger is often an early warning sign of esophageal or stomach cancer. You might feel this as a dull ache in your upper abdomen or a strange feeling of pressure. You might even find that the thought of your favorite breakfast makes you feel slightly sick. Scientific research from the American College of Gastroenterology shows that persistent morning nausea and appetite loss are frequently linked to chronic inflammation or obstructions in the digestive system. Your body is trying to tell you that it cannot process new food because something is wrong deep inside. I remember a patient of mine named Margaret. Margaret is 74 years old and lives in a quiet neighborhood in Georgia. She was always a woman who loved her morning toast and eggs, but she started skipping breakfast because she felt strangely full as soon as she woke up. She told herself she was just practicing healthy fasting, but when she finally came to see me, we found a small ulcer that was beginning to cause serious issues. I want you to take a constructive action starting tomorrow. Stop forcing yourself to eat large meals if you feel full, but do not skip nutrition entirely. Start your morning with a very light breakfast. Try a small cup of Greek yogurt or a handful of walnuts. These are easy on the stomach and provide the protein you need. Drink a small glass of fresh apple or orange juice to provide natural enzymes that wake up your taste buds. If this lack of appetite lasts for more than 2 weeks, you must schedule an appointment with your doctor. Sign number 6, blood in stool. Now we must talk about a sign that is very frightening and often difficult for people to discuss. Seeing blood in your stool after a morning bowel movement is a moment that causes instant panic. Many people try to convince themselves that it is just a simple case of hemorrhoids caused by a bit of constipation. They hope it will just go away on its own. But as your doctor, I am telling you that you must never gamble with this sign. The biological reason this happens more in our senior years is that the walls of our colon become thinner and more fragile. We are more likely to develop small growths called polyps. While many polyps are harmless, some can bleed and eventually turn into colorectal cancer. If you see bright red blood, it might be a local issue. But if the blood is dark or mixed into the stool, it is a loud alarm for internal bleeding. You might notice that along with this sign, you feel unusually weak in the morning. You might look a bit pale in the mirror or feel short of breath just walking to the mailbox. This is because your body is losing essential red blood cells. The American Cancer Society has proven that early detection of these symptoms through regular screenings can save thousands of lives every year. I had a patient named George. George is 69 years old and was too embarrassed to tell anyone about the blood he saw every morning. He just kept buying creams at the pharmacy and hoping for the best. By the time he finally spoke up, he was severely anemic and very weak. We were able to help him, but his journey would have been much easier if he had acted the very first time he saw that warning sign. Please, listen to me. Stop waiting and stop being embarrassed. If you see blood, you must schedule a colonoscopy or a stool test immediately. It is the only way to know for sure what is happening. In the meantime, focus on your diet. Fiber is your best friend in your golden years. Start eating more green, leafy vegetables, beans, and whole grains. This natural fiber protects your colon walls and reduces the stress on your digestive tract. Real food is a powerful medicine, but it cannot replace a professional diagnosis. Protect your health by being brave enough to speak up. Sign number 7, the bitter taste in the mouth. Have you ever woken up after a good night of sleep only to find a strange, bitter, or metallic taste in your mouth? It feels dry, and no matter how much water you sip, that lingering bitterness stays with you for a while. Many people think they just forgot to brush well enough, or perhaps they are just a bit dehydrated from the night before. But as your doctor, I want you to know that a bitter mouth in the morning is rarely just about dental hygiene. It is a window into your internal organs, specifically your liver and your gallbladder. When your liver is struggling to detoxify your body, or when your gallbladder is not processing bile correctly, that bitter fluid can actually back up. In traditional medical wisdom and modern science alike, we see that when liver function is impaired, it leads to a stagnation of heat in the body. This causes bile to overflow, leaving you with that unmistakable bitter taste the moment you wake up. As we age, our organs do not filter toxins as quickly as they used to. Your liver and kidneys are like the filtration system of a house that has been standing for 60 or 70 years. The filters get clogged more easily, and the waste products start to affect your breath and your taste buds. You might also notice a thick, yellowish coating on your tongue or a burning sensation in your chest, known as acid reflux. These are not just inconveniences. Scientific studies have shown that a persistent metallic or bitter taste in the morning is frequently a very early warning sign of unregulated blood sugar or even fatty liver disease. Your body is trying to tell you that its internal cleansing system is overwhelmed. I want you to think about my patient, Diane. Diane is a 70-year-old grandmother from Ohio. She woke up every morning with a taste like copper in her mouth. She tried every mouthwash on the market, but nothing worked. When we looked deeper, we found her liver was under immense stress from a diet too high in processed fats and a high level of hidden stress. We changed her lifestyle, and the bitterness vanished. I want you to take corrective action today. Take a look at your tongue in the mirror tomorrow morning. If it looks coated and your mouth feels bitter, it is time to simplify your diet. Stop eating heavy, oily, or spicy dinners late at night. Your liver needs rest during the night, not more work. Focus on eating more bitter greens like arugula or drinking green tea, which helps support liver detoxification naturally. Real food is your first line of defense. However, if that bitterness persists along with abdominal pain or fatigue, you must schedule a professional checkup to protect your gallbladder and your liver. Sign number 8, persistent coughing after waking up. The next sign is one of the most critical warnings I can share with you today. It is a persistent, dry cough that happens every morning, right after you sit up in bed. Many seniors tell me, "Dr. Benjamin, it is just my morning clearing of the pipes, or it is just my smoker's cough from years ago." But if that cough lasts for more than 2 weeks, you must stop making excuses for it. Medical statistics are very clear on this point. Over 90% of patients diagnosed with early-stage lung cancer reported a persistent morning cough as their very first symptom. At this early stage, you might not have a fever. You might not even feel tired. It is just a dry, nagging hack that will not go away. As we age, the tiny hairs in our lungs, called cilia, become less effective at sweeping out dust and mucus. This makes our lungs much more vulnerable to inflammation and the growth of abnormal cells. Your lungs are trying to cough out something that should not be there. You might also feel a slight wheeze when you take a deep breath, or a faint tightness in your chest that disappears once you start moving. Do not be fooled by how mild it feels. Research from leading oncologists confirms that catching these symptoms in the first few weeks can increase the success of treatment by over 80%. A cough is not just a cough when you are over 60. It is a vital communication from your respiratory system. I remember a man named Jack. Jack was a retired carpenter from Seattle. He had a dry morning cough for a month. He thought it was just the damp air of the Pacific Northwest. His wife finally convinced him to come see me. Because we caught his lung issues early, Jack is still with us today, enjoying his retirement. He always says that the cough was the best warning he ever received. I am calling you to act now. If you have been coughing every morning for more than 14 days, please do not wait for it to turn into pain. Stop smoking immediately if you haven't already, and avoid secondhand smoke or harsh cleaning chemicals in your home. I want you to start a simple building habit. Drink a tall glass of warm water with a spoonful of raw honey and a squeeze of lemon every morning. The warm water helps break up any light mucus, while the honey soothes the lung tissue. But remember, this is only to help with the symptoms. The real solution is to see your doctor for a chest X-ray or a scan. Protect your breath, because it is your life force. If you are still with me and you find these lessons helpful, please comment the number 3 below so I know you are listening and taking care of yourself. Your health is worth every second of your attention. Remember Mr. Thomas Taylor? Today, he's thriving in Pennsylvania because he listened to his body. Your health is a masterpiece, and these signs are just asking for a little help. In the comments, tell me one small change you'll make this week. Is it drinking more water or calling your doctor? I read every single note. If this brought you comfort, please subscribe and join our family. Share this with someone you love. Stay healthy, stay hopeful, and I'll see you in the next talk.